Roberto De Zerbi to Tottenham Hotspur is imminent, absolutely imminent. In the next few hours, he is going to be confirmed as the Tottenham Hotspur manager. Now, by the time this comes out, the likelihood is that he would have been confirmed already. Roberto De Zerbi on a 4 to 5 year deal from what I'm hearing right now. And major shift from what the ITKs were saying. They thought there was going to be another interim manager coming in, but instead we've secured this guy on a 5 year deal or 4 year deal, if you were to believe rumors. So guys, here we are. Is Roberto De Zerbi going to keep us up? Yo, it's your boy Manny here on Designated Hotspur. Formalities, please like, please share, please subscribe, please hype, please everything. We are fluctuating between the 1K up and down, either side of the 1K. So let's just try and push and get me to 1,500 subscribers. It's imperative I stabilize through that. But yeah, as usual, guys, please, I really appreciate it if you smash the like, subscribe, etc. But it's big news. It's huge news that people didn't see coming. A few days ago, it was Sean Dyche. It was Adolf guy. I don't even know what his surname. I don't even want to pronounce it and make a mistake there. It was Harry Redknapp. It was Harry Redknapp and friends coming in. And post that, it was Tim Sherwood and Ryan Mason. All these ITKs coming up with a load of nonsense. And here we are with Roberto De Zerbi imminently about to sign for Tottenham Hotspur. Huge appointment that divides opinion for various different reasons. And we're going to get right into that. So Roberto De Zerbi, he was at Marseille for 2 years for a year and a bit, actually, I believe. And in his first season, finished 8th, and in his second season, finished 2nd, from my understanding. And yeah, it's a huge deal, because apparently he is going to be paid 12 to 15 million pounds per year, making him one of the highest paid managers in the league. I literally just had a show with Connor and Billy and Hayden, who made good points about De Zerbi, saying that he does not deserve that kind of money. But from my opinion, in my opinion, do I care how much De Zerbi gets paid? No. All I care about is him managing to keep this football club up and keeping us away from a disastrous situation of dropping down the league. But is he the right fit? On 2 counts, is he the right fit to keep us up within these 7 games? And is he the right fit to shape what the future of Tottenham is going to be? Well, when it comes to the 7 games, someone mentioned to me that he hasn't won when he went to Brighton, his first 5 games, he won none. Or 4 games. But when I was looking into him, the first 5 games, he won none of them. However, one of the things that people do not mention is the fact that in those first 5 games, he played Man City, and I believe he played Liverpool as well. So it's not just as straightforward as, oh, he didn't win the 5 games, so he's not gonna succeed and keep us up in the next 7 games. Let's make that clear. Also, another thing that I'll point people up to is, what did we not say about Igor Tudor and his start at different clubs? Igor Tudor had never ever lost a game against his first game that he had taken charge of, and when he came to Spurs, he did. Igor Tudor was known for kick-starting people's season and, you know, pushing them away from relegation, and the first few games, you know, just bringing that oomph into that club and gaining points quickly. How did that turn out? Igor Tudor was sacked, and my condolences to him after the situation he's had with his dad. But Igor Tudor was sacked after playing 5 Premier League games and winning none of them. So history doesn't matter here. The present does. And the present is that we need 7 to 9 points to stay up, and maybe De Zerbi is the guy. Maybe he will be able to keep us up. Now, for him to even take the job in the first place means that he must believe in himself. Other than the money, bearing in mind, people say it's all about the money. Yeah, it's all about the money, but at this stage and at this level where these managers and players are multimillionaires, I believe that he also must back himself to keep us up. Bearing in mind, the rumors, if you were to believe the rumors, he was rumored to want the job, but from the start of next season. We have now lured him and convinced him to take the job now. So I believe that he believes in himself and he backs himself to keep the club up. If that wasn't the case, he just wouldn't have signed, because I'm pretty sure there'll be quite a few clubs ready to give De Zerbi a job. And what better way for De Zerbi to start his career at a top club? I know people are going to say, oh, we're not a top club anymore. Yes, we're not, but from a financial perspective, we are. So he must be thinking, a traditional Big Six club in trouble. Finished 17th last year, finished probably going to be finishing 17th or 16th this year. I can turn this around. And if I'm able to turn this around, I can probably get the players that I want in the summer, because I would have done something that Thomas Frank and Tudor were not able to do, and the board might back me. As to whether the board is going to back him, that's a different conversation, guys. But taking him back to the Brighton days, De Zerbi played a very, very aggressive front-footed football. Now, that aggressive front-footed football came into a shape of 4-2-3-1. That aggressive football required his players to be able to play from the back and invite pressure onto the players. So are our players going to be able to do that? That is the major concern. We have a goalkeeper in Vicario who can't use his feet to do anything, right? Great shot stopper, some people would argue, but when it comes to ball distribution, inviting pressure, he is not your guy. You then have Romero, Van de Ven, Danso, if some people's preferences, who are okay on the ball. Romero very good on the ball, but the rest are okay. Porro good on the ball. On the left, Tudogi, who's back, good on the ball. But when we come into that midfield, we haven't even got ball-playing football midfielders. So what is going to happen then when De Zerbi comes in? Is he sticking to Gray, who's probably the most decent of our football playing midfielders, but hasn't got the strength to either hold the ball up, shield the ball, etc.? Is he going to go to Bissouma? I thought that Bissouma played under De Zerbi, but I was told that it was actually under Graham Potter, right? But is De Zerbi going to look at Bissouma and think he is the best ball playing midfielder that we actually have and give him the chance? Or is he going to clash with him? Because we all know De Zerbi's temperament at all the clubs that he goes, So that's where my concern comes in. But if he is going to be able to instill that into the players, which is not impossible, guys. It's not impossible, because I'll cast your mind back to when Ange came in, and we had gone from losing a lot of games under Conte and Ryan Mason and Stellini, Ryan Mason and Stellini, to winning the first 10 games under Ange. So could he have that level of impact with our players? Well, a player that's due to be back into the fold is Kudus, and Kudus, Xavi, and Tel is probably the players that are going to enjoy this ride the most, because De Zerbi is not someone who's afraid of attacking football, and I feel like these players are going to benefit from that. They're going to be benefiting from it, because they would have gone from a pragmatist in Thomas Frank, who always thought about midfielders defending for their lives first before attacking in quick transition, to a manager who actually wants to be front-footed. They would have gone, someone like Xavi would have gone from being on the bench all the time with Tudor to probably slotting in the 10, because he is our only number 10 at the club. So I don't know what you guys think. Is this going to end in tears? Is this going to end in tears, or are we making the right decision by giving him a long-term contract? He fell out with the board. Again, I'm here to try and dismiss all the myths that are on YouTube a lot of the time, right? He fell out with the Brighton board because he finished 6th in his first season. I think he joined mid-season, but he finished 6th. Went into Europe and he was not backed. And the following season, he finished 11th whilst playing in Europe. So he fell out with the board and left. He was not backed. Now, I know people are screaming at the screen saying, well, Manny, but he was not back. If he was not backed at Brighton, then good luck with being backed at Tottenham Hotspur. That's okay. Again, that's a conversation for another time. He then fell out with players, fell out with the board and myself, Marseille as well. But at Marseille, he had a 58% or 57% win rate at the club. And that 57% win rate was better than the 34 managers prior to him since the turn of the century. So it shows you that even at Marseille, even though he didn't he didn't perform miracles, he still did a good enough job. He still did a good enough job there too. So, and looking at Marseille and the players that he had, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, there were a lot of the players that he had were just rejects. Like, obviously, no disrespect to those players, but Tim Weah, reject from Juventus. What's our midfielder? Højbjerg, reject from us. Rabiot was a reject from another team. Like, he didn't have this all, sparkly team that people keep saying that he had. He had, they invested in rejects and then got Mason Greenwood, etc. into the team. So, in my opinion, he actually did okay. But again, I think Spurs fans really have to focus on what we need. The immediate future rather than the longevity and long-term future of things. We need him to get us to stay up. First and foremost, doesn't matter whether he's going to implode in 18 months' time. Doesn't matter whether he's going to be implode in 2 months' time and we have to pay 30 million in compensation. Paying 30 million in compensation is way better than us getting relegated and losing 200, 300 million. I'm just looking at it from a board perspective. If I was in the board, if I was the owner of the club, I wouldn't have cared less about the 30, 40 million I need to pay this guy if it doesn't work out. I would pay him and I'll get him in and get him to get us to stay up. Is he going to be the right guy? I don't know. We don't know. A lot of people thought and said Tudor was the guy to just kickstart us up, and it didn't work. So unfortunately, we have to go left field with this one. And with regards in relation to the people that are available, your Sean Dyches, your Harry Redknapp, your Ben. People said Ben Davies, guys. Ben Davies. I'm sorry to say, but maybe the ZERBI is the best we can get, and maybe he does keep us up. And if he does keep us up, we should not care less about anything else. We shouldn't care less about anything else. We've got bigger issues come summer than the ZERBI, to be completely honest. We have a director of football issue, we have a board issue, we have an ownership issue, we have a whole squad revamp issue. The ZERBI is the least of the issues. So, guys, thanks for watching. And by the time you watch this, as I said, most likely you would hear that the ZERBI has been made Tottenham Hotspur manager. Now, what do you think? Do you think he's the right appointment? Do you think the baggage that he brings with him and everything behind and everything that, you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think he's going to keep us up? But hopefully he does, because I am not looking to watch our football in the Championship. I will watch it because I'm a Spurs fan, but I'm not looking forward to watching that. So hopefully he keeps us up. And as always, guys, come on, you Spurs.